Welcome back to Inner Journey Oracle. Today's collective message is for those who feel like you've been being you're being tasked to do things but not being rewarded or put into the official leadership position. Now, I'm having a feeling that this could resonate in the most practical way. So let's say for like a job and you've been doing the work, you've been, being an awesome coworker, a team player, blah, blah, blah. And just for some reason, you're not getting recognized. You're not going up the ladder. You're not getting any of the positions that you want. You're not being put into a leadership position when you know like you're just as good or better than whoever is in charge, or it just feels like you're doing things and you're being asked to do everything, but you're not given the title yet. Okay. This can also be for those who are in a more spiritual sense where, God has given something to you for you to do, giving you an assignment. You feel it in your heart that you're supposed to do it, but it's like there's no results happening. You're not seeing any movement. You're not seeing any progress. And it almost feels like you feel foolish, maybe. You feel like you're just running in circles, and it's making you question why you're doing this. And it makes you, I keep wanting to say, it makes you feel like a fool. It makes you question, did I hear you right? Am I doing the right thing? But you know in your heart that you are. You know what you've been told to do. But in our physical eyes, in the physical sense, we're not seeing any results from it. We're not seeing any fruits of our labor, basically. Or you're not seeing yourself be elevated to the position that you know in your heart that you're being called to, whatever that may look like. So that means I'm talking to those who are in alignment, doing what they're supposed to do, where they feel like they're supposed to do, and doing it with a good heart posture. And you're just feeling very fatigued and almost like you want to give up. But you can't give up because it's not in you to give up. Like you can't give up on something that is innately you, right? Or that you've been working on for years and, it's just who you are. There is no giving up on this. So this is not for everybody. If you don't feel like you've really been putting in any work towards anything and you don't know what I'm talking about, then that's okay. But for those who are maybe on this journey of enlightenment and know that you have a role, and especially in the spiritual sense where you know that you're here to be a guide, a messenger, a light worker, to create these things, be creative, be the teacher, be the leader. Even if it is like a legitimate teacher role in a school, or you know what I mean, or teach how to do your gifts. If you're a painter, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, you know what I mean, that you've been guided and called to do these things for a deeper reason, for the collective. You know who you are, and you know that you've been already doing it, but you just are not where you're not where you feel like you should be. So you know who you are, right? And I have felt this for a while. But of course, like always, in the middle of the night, when I get my messages, my downloads, and that's what I'm going to claim to be, because another part of this is me claiming who I am and my gifts and whatnot. So, sometimes you're not getting the position because you don't even believe that you deserve the title. Ooh, that's for some of y'all. That's for me, for sure. Who am I to be doing XYZ, right? But here's the main message, and I wrote it down in my notes. And it's kind of long, and we'll break it down like we always do. I'm going to start from the beginning, and then we'll go through it. And this is kind of messy because I just be jotting down whatever comes through, streams through quite kind of quickly. So anyways, I have being watched as you've been in prep for years to ensure you're ready for leadership at your appointed time. I feel like it's already mapped out, but what you do as a follower determines how much power you're given as a leader. Then I put an example in my own personal life, but not necessarily from me being it's from the perspective of me being like the person who gives out the power, who delegates, like being the boss, who is watching a younger person. So when I had said like you're being watched, I have an example from a position where I'm the watcher who has to give the leadership position. So we'll talk about that. And so that example was kind of with being observed the day you arrive onto the scene, right? Whenever you first start the mission, and literally whenever you first get here, but whatever, on this earth. But whenever you say, hey, okay, I'm dedicated to this thing, you're being watched from day one, even if you have no idea that a potential role exists. You don't even know what you're going towards. Being observed from the day you arrive, and you're basically building a case. You're building your case. And with building a case, I'm just gonna keep reading. Truly doesn't matter the outcomes, because it's kind of like a fake mock trial. And it's more about how you handle XYZ, and do you need more training or not. I'm almost done. Your only job is to showcase the best of you, so you can be undoubtedly handed your position at the highest power. And then the last thing I wrote was, do what you want to do so I can see what you rather do. And then I said, telling the plan won't gather true data of character. God's plan was always to prosper you. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Being watched as you've been in prep for years to ensure that you're ready for leadership at your appointed time. So with your appointed time, that goes back to the end of what I just said. Like, God's plan has always been to prosper you. You are in co-creation, at least is what I believe, with Source, with Divine. And I feel like you've already laid out what you're going to do. And when you can really trust that you're here to experience the highest abundance and the highest position of whatever you're called to do, understand that that's already been prepped for you. Like, it's already been ready. Like, okay, Inner Journey Oracle, and I'm going to just speak this out into the universe. Inner Journey Oracle is going to, pop off and reach 100,000 subscribers on December 1st, 2025. You know what I mean? Right? That's the highest, that's the appointed time, and that's the highest position. That's just for example. So basically, ever since you start the journey, whatever your journey is, you're being watched and prepped. And so the things that seem unfair that are happening or whatever is your training ground. Like, I'm prepping you for the big stage, and you're wondering, why am I not experiencing the thing? It's like, well, because first of all, the thing that you're thinking of is not big enough, which is why I said 100,000 when I really wanted to just say 10,000 or 1,000. I went on and said 100,000, because God's like bigger, 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 and you're like little, and you're wondering why you're not seeing anything, because you're still in prep. You're in prep for the biggest thing. He's not going to allow you, God's Source universe is not going to allow you to settle for the smallest thing and just give you breadcrumbs and like, okay, training's over. Like, of course you don't need but 2 weeks of training if your position is a low level position, right? Think about that. Those who are at the top, who are the CEOs, who are the bosses, who are the doctors, who are the like in the highest positions in reality or on this earth, you know how much training they go through? You know how many how many years of schooling, how much experiential training they get, and then even when they do start the job, it's still more what is it called? Educational. You still have to keep on learning. Like, it never stops, and every new position, there's more training and more learning. So yeah, of course, if you want the low position, it's gonna take you a couple months. Okay, cool. But it's like, I want you to know, like, you're not supposed to be settling for the lowest position, or the position that you think of as great and high. It's not nowhere near the position that you're supposed to be, right? So the reason it takes a long time is because you're still in prep, and there's a lot of things we need to learn, and it's about our character as well, and we'll get into that. But if you're sitting here, I'm going to just speak on myself. I'm sitting here wondering why I'm not seeing any fruits of my labor. And it's like, well, look, maybe you're not laboring hard enough. I know that's kind of tough, but like, am I consistent? Let's think about our character. Am I consistent enough? Am I confident enough? Do I know how to handle negative reactions and comments? Am I there yet? Do I feel like I passed those check marks? Have I passed those benchmarks every time I took the test? And understanding that, God and Source wants you to be proficient in your skills and not barely passing. So that's why sometimes we see the same cycle come back. And you're like, I thought I passed this test. And it's like, yeah, you may have maybe for a lower level position, but you're going to need to be a little bit stronger. Like instead of an 85 barely passing, I need you to be like at 99%. You know what I mean? So the prep is for something bigger than you could have imagined, which could be why you're taking so long. And you're not necessarily going to see exactly what you're being worked on, what's being worked on through you. You may think it's the typical, oh, I produce this thing. I produce a number of videos per day. I created this many courses. I went through this many hours of training, and you think it's the metrics. Those are the metrics, but the metrics are more about your heart. The metrics are more about your confidence. The metrics are more about your boldness. The metrics are more about when God says move, do you move or do you hesitate? The metrics are more, can I trust you to deliver the message? The metrics are not what you think they are. And so now you're distracted thinking that, oh, I've done this X, Y, and Z, but the benchmarks are not about how many videos you uploaded and how many paintings you painted and how many people you handed money to out on the street. No, it's about, did you hesitate? It's about where was your heart? It's about where's your confidence? It's about all those other things that you're kind of missing, but you're being prepped in the best way, which is why you sometimes get the heartbreak, why you get the disappointment. I'm fixing your heart. I'm seeing where your headspace is. I'm seeing your intentions and your motives. And by I mean God. And I don't want it to be scary, but you're going to have to, your heart posture is going to have to be right. Your intentions are going to have to be right. Your morals are going to have to be whatever your morals are to be in the position that you're already assigned to. And so these things that feel unfair are not unfair. It's so you can be confident in the position when it's time. And it's already waiting for you. So don't worry. You're not messing anything up. And you can take as long as you need to, and that's okay. Nobody's rushing you. But understand that it's ready for you. But maybe it's not quite the time. Cool. There could be other things that are not even in your control or the reason why it's not time yet. So let's say you were doing a good job, you're almost there, but like literally the world isn't ready for whatever your position is. Hey, that's okay. Because if you're getting antsy and impatient, why? Ask yourself, well, why am I getting so flustered? Is there something I'm trying to get from somebody else? Or am I doing this from a purely servitude energy? Am I truly here to give, or am I looking to get something from somebody? If you're impatient, there should be no impatience when you're walking in your identity in the love of whatever you're wanting to do, because you're already doing what you want to do and you're doing it to your highest capacity. So there's nothing that you should be looking for outside of you anyway, because you're full, right? And you're giving from a full cup, right? You're not doing this just because you need something from somebody, right? God, get me. So if you're being impatient, that's just exposing that you're not ready anyway. Because impatient for what? For some clout? Okay. I'm getting hot. Hold on. Let me take my sweater off. Man. Okay. Let's keep going. What was next on the thing? So I feel like I feel like it's already mapped out, but what you do as a follower determine how much power you're given. And I don't necessarily mean follower, but what you do, how you behave in a lower level position is exposing your character. If you are rude and a jerk to people and you don't even have power yet, what makes you think You're ready for to be over anybody, to lead anything, to be in any position of power. You know that doesn't make sense when you're looking at the workplace. Hold on, let me back up though, because I don't want to necessarily make it about that. But also, I think what I mean is not as a follower, but kinda. Or when you're not getting recognized, or when you are kind of just in the cogwheel of doing it over and over and over again. And, maybe you see somebody else pop off, or you see somebody else get, their recognition. How do you respond in that time? Do you clap for others, or do you get jealous? Do you, what is your character when you're not in charge, when you're not getting any recognition? Is it on the positive side, or do you think it's kind of like icky? I think more about where I wanted to go with that though is, let's say you're being watched by the divine, not in a scary way, right? And there's a position that is ready for you, or is technically for you at the appointed time. But every time you get the opportunity to do something great, you drop the ball. Or every time you get, okay, no, I'm gonna leave it right there. So it's like, if I continue to watch you choose not to participate in this opportunity that could lead you to more power in the future, or more, leadership in the future, but you're not doing the basic things. You're not doing the little things. Like, you're not tending to the little things. I can't give you more. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a Bible verse. Like, if you're not tending to the small, I can't give you more. I can't feel confident in giving you more. So like, what you do with little is what you're going to do with a lot. How you handle your money when you have a little money is how you're going to handle a lot of money. Okay, now that's a more realistic example. And so I'm not necessarily saying how you behave as a follower, but how you behave when you don't have power. It just gets amplified when you do. Your character when you don't have anything is going to be amplified when you have all the resources. Your character will be amplified. So I want you to see, what are you asking for, but what is the small version of it, and how are you handling that? How are you handling a small group of people? How are you talking to a small group of people? Are you treating them like they're nothing, like they're nobody? Because if you truly, I'm just giving examples. But I feel like that could potentially delay your ability to get to the big thing, because you still need training, right? I feel like I'm getting on y'all, but I think this is just how it's supposed to come out, because I talk to myself this way. Very much like, are you sure? Is this right? Let's question. Let's figure this out, because this is an inner journey, right? And we need to uncover our thought processes and our hearts and our character and our morals and what we think is right and wrong. So we got to start questioning ourselves. Because, do you know? Do I know? Of course I know. What you do with little determines how quickly you're given more. And can I trust that you can do this with more if you're not even doing it with little? This is so interesting, because I'm also thinking about the next thing we'll go into. I have an example where I'm the one in charge of delegating the kids, and I'll just say it like that, to who's going to be in the leadership position. And even saying what you do at whatever lets me know what you're going to do for the next thing. So basically the situation is that you're in practice or something. And so it's how you practice is how you're going to perform. And so a lot of times they'll not practice to the highest quality. and they'll just kind of be like, half doing it and not really giving it their all. And I got to like force it out of them during practice. And all these circumstances, it's hot and, I'm tired and I'm hungry and I understand that. But then that just shows me like, can you handle adversity? Maybe not. And if you're getting used to giving me this little bit during practice, I know you're not going to be able to like naturally give me the best when it's time, like when it's game on, like when the actual thing comes. I already know what to expect because I watched you all practice all week, not really give a flying a rat's booty about anything. And so it's interesting because it's coming from like a child's perspective or like a teenager and how they are so moody, but we're the same way when it's something that we're not taking too seriously, but then we expect that when it's quote unquote showtime, oh, I'm going to turn it on. No, you won't. I've seen it with my own two eyes. And you might can do it once or twice, but you're not going to be reliably able to turn it on if you have been BSing for the practice rounds. Okay, that's what I mean. Okay. But let me keep going. I'm trying not to make this as long as the other one was. So the next part was building a case. This might feel scary for some people, but this is how it works when I'm the one who has to delegate the task or the responsibilities. And when I say that I've been watching them since the beginning, it means like the first day they come into my presence, I'm already looking to see what their strengths and weaknesses are. And of course, their appointed time is not immediately. So think about this. Or like when you just get into a job where there are like ladder steps, like of course somebody who you have to kind of go through the like, okay, I'm an entry level, then I'm a senior level, then I'm the boss type of thing. It's very much similar to that. So since I'm talking about high school kids, it's kind of more just based off like seniority. And so when they come in as a freshman, they're not going to get any leadership position. And I'm not saying they have to wait till they're senior, but that's pretty much how it goes. Juniors at the earliest. So when they're in 11th grade, that's pretty much when they can start getting a leadership role. But it doesn't matter, even if they're not up for like the running immediately. I'm already watching them. I'm already taking into account how they move, what stories they tell, their character, their energy, their vibe, and seeing what they're good at just naturally as they be themselves. As they just walk through the journey over their high school career, I'm just peeping and seeing what would they be good for? What would they not be good for? Have I seen them grow over time? Did they start to do better here? Have they developed in this? Have they gotten worse in this? And of course, like I said, because the goal is always to prosper you, my goal is not to sit here and say, oh no, they're not good at that, so they're out the running. When I see their weakness, I work on their weaknesses. Right? And I give them opportunities, like God is giving you opportunities to work on your weaknesses. Right? And we call that unfair because we're failing in somebody's weaknesses, but it's okay because it's not your time yet. So I'm working on their weaknesses over time, knowing that they're not even eligible for the position yet. They're not nowhere near junior or senior level. But maybe as a freshman or as a sophomore, I start giving them little tasks to see, okay, can we start working on these weaknesses? I start giving them responsibilities that they may not be ready for, but I want to see where they are. I want to see where they are on the benchmark, and then maybe they might fail it. That's okay. Then I give you another benchmark a couple weeks later, a couple months later. Hey, I got another responsibility for you because I want to work on your weaknesses. I already know your strengths and I'm catering to their strengths, but not in the level of like the person, the head honcho. No, like we're making sure we're still keeping that whoever's in charge is still in charge. I'm ultimately in charge. Let's not get it twisted. But think about this conversation from what I'm saying as universe and God doing the same thing for you. working on, catering to your strengths. So you also need to be aware of your strengths, but also be aware of your own weaknesses and see where you're being tested. And I don't want to say tested in an evil way, but tested in like a refining way. I'm trying to refine your character. I'm refining your ability to get places on time. I'm refining your confidence. I'm trying to make sure that I tell you, good job here, let's work on this, and stuff like that. So I say all that to say, I watch them from the beginning. I take the mental notes. I make sure that I raise them up to be ready for the position when it's time. And so they've been building a case from day one, but they don't know that they're building a case. And that kind of goes back to one of these endpoints I said about, I let them do what they want to do sometimes so I can see what they rather do. So without being prompted, I'm just kind of watching and seeing. And I can feel, I know it seems manipulative, but I kind of want to see their true character or their true strengths and weaknesses without telling them like, hey, you're eligible for this. Make sure you're doing XYZ. Like, no, I need to see your true, real strengths. I need to see your true, real weaknesses so we can really get to the bottom of it, not to punish you, not to hurt you, not to harm you, but to prosper you. Yeah, I just heard a car horn outside beeping. Correct, right? So I know it feels tough to say, look, you've been building a case this whole time. And that would be scary if you felt like you've been BSing around and not doing your best and playing games and complaining and not really doing the things you're supposed to do and being kind of nasty and being immoral or whatever. If you've been doing the wrong thing, yeah, the case has been built, but it's not to punish you. You're just going to be refined over time. And it might take you longer because let's say you have been doing a good job. It still might not be your time, but instead of you having to waiting 4 whole years until you're a quote unquote senior and it's actually time for you to get it, you might get something a little bit early. You might get another position that's not quite the highest position, but you get it early because you've been doing such a good job. So what does your case look like right now? What does your file folder look like? Are they always going to say, oh yes, this person is kind and generous and always on time. They follow through. They're confident. They're strong. They're smart. They think about others. They have empathy. All these things that are not necessarily, oh yeah, they turned this in. They submitted this many things and oh, they posted this many videos. Not necessarily that. Yes, that's great too, because that's a part of it. You can't be in charge of anybody if you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, but it's still more about the character, at least in my opinion. So what does your case look like? You've been building a case since you stepped on the scene. And that shouldn't be scary. That should be a great feeling because I know my case looks fantastic. Well, okay, hold on now. It might not be the best. That's my ego. I understand. And I understand there's some things that can be worked on because if I was perfect, I think I would have what I want. But I guess I still need some work on my weaknesses. Okay, well, fine, whatever. But I understand, like, out of love, my weaknesses are being refined and they're getting turned into strengths. Because the case has been built from day one. There's a lot of positives. There might be some negatives, and that's okay. And so what I was saying about the character is like, well, these outcomes that we're focused on is not what God is focused on, not as much. He's more concerned about your heart posture, right? And so that means when we're looking at results, how much money did I make? I did this X, Y, and Z. Why am I not seeing any fruits of my labor? It's like, hey, well, hold on. It's not even time. You're building a case. This is kind of like a fake benchmark mock trial type of thing. If you've ever done mock trials in like school, where they make it seem like it's so real, but it's really not. And yeah, maybe for a grade, but it's like, we're doing this for practice. It's more about how you handle the situation. It's more about, were you able, even if you're thinking about law, it might not be, did you find the right law and come to the defense in the right way? It's, did you work through your mental, or were you able to lay out the facts and use the things you learned in class? Were you able to perform under pressure? Were you able to come up with a solution that may not be the best solution, but were you able to come up with a solution? It's more about how you handled certain situations and not what the situation was or the outcome of it. Is how did you handle it? How did you approach it? That's the quality of a good leader, not necessarily that they're always going to make the best choices, but did it come from the right intentions? Did, they think through it? Did they collaborate? I'm giving a lot of different examples where you can apply this to your real life situations, your real work, your real careers, your real schooling, or it can also be very much spiritual and more of a internal reflector of your spiritual gifts and whatever you're called to do. Okay. That's why I say your only job at this moment, your job, because this is a co-creation. I'm thinking we're not in control of everything, which should help you feel a little bit better to know you're not 100% in control. But your job is to showcase the best of you so you can undoubtedly be handed your position at the highest power. Notice that sometimes it's not always the smartest people who, make the best decisions who are at the top. I know we don't see that often because we see a lot of grimy people at the top, neither here nor there. But I want you to trust that it's more about how do you handle situations that earns you I don't even want to say the word earn, but that aligns you with the highest power, like the most reach, the most visibility. Are your intentions correct? Are your motives in alignment with whatever your motives are? I'm not sitting here to say like what's right and what's wrong. It has to just be right. It has to be right for you. You have to know that you're not a manipulative person. Because you're not going to be on God's roster like that. I don't think so anyway. That's just me though. For some of you might think this is just more like universe and the universe don't really care about morals. Hey, that's fine too. I'm just letting you think, helping you think through whatever, if this is resonating. So your only job is to showcase the best of you so you can undoubtedly be handed your position. But here's the thing as well. I'm not going to tell you what your position is because I don't want you to give me the fake best of you. And so that's why a lot of us don't know what we're working towards. But you have to give your best anyway, trusting that it's going to be worth your time. But if I'm watching the kids and I'm watching a particular person, okay, so I do have a great example because one of them I watched from the beginning be the kindest, sweetest soul, the most caring and loving always, but she wasn't the best at the sport, at what she did, right? But right now she's a junior, and even though she still has some weaknesses, I trust her. I trust that she will always do the right thing. I trust that it will remain drama free. I trust that she will communicate with me because I've seen her from the beginning be that type of person. And she never even really cares about the power. She doesn't care about the leadership position. She cares about being collaborative and having a great working environment. That's what she cares about. And I know that without a shadow of a doubt that I can trust her in a position. And if there's some weaknesses she still has, I also trust that you're going to be given support for your weaknesses as well. If you're not proficient in a certain area, that's when the support comes in. That's when God doesn't leave you hanging. Right? If you can't fulfill the whole thing, maybe you're going to get a partner that can do the other part for you that has those things. So right now, she has a partner with another one that, I don't know that one as well because she's new, but her strengths are the other one's weakness. And so they're working well together in the co-leadership position. Wouldn't leave her hanging out there by herself. Absolutely not, because that's not the plan. The plan is to prosper them. Always. I think I covered everything. I just kind of covered the last 3 points in that last sentence. And I just looked at my timer and it was 3-3-3-3. Wow. I love to see it. Is that not about growth and expansion? Let me look up the 3-3-3. The actual time is 3:29, but let me go look at 3-3-3-3 as the angel number for us so we can wrap it up. And let's see if it has anything to do with anything. I'm trying not to do the AI overview, but I kind of want this to be more about, let's talk about career and finances, since I do believe this is more in that lane. I don't know what website to get. Bear with me. Let's go here. Every time you click on a website, it's like so much extra information in the beginning. I don't think I like this website. Let's start here. It says spiritual growth and expansion. Angel number 3333 represents growth and expansion in physical, spiritual, and mental realms. It carries a high vibrational energy that resonates with optimism and enthusiasm, encouraging you to maintain a positive mindset and believe in the limitless possibilities. So I would say throughout this whole thing, it's been your positivity, your character, in the what you feel like is the valley. What is your energy still like at the moment where you're not getting the fruits of your labor? Are you still positive? Are you still working towards it even when things are looking negative? Are you still, do you give up like when it's hot outside? Are you complaining and hardly giving it your best? Or are you still like, nope, I gotta practice how I perform whenever I get to where I'm going? And here's the thing, the possibilities are limitless. I might be even thinking too small, and I might be being prepped for something way bigger. Let me keep my mind positive. Let me keep my heart positive. Let me keep my joy and my peace and my light and my happiness as best as I can. Not just because you know what your future holds, because you get excited when you think about the highest outcome, but because that's just a funner way to be, you know? It just feels better to be happy. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done is what I'm trying to say. But let me keep reading. This angel number is a potent symbol of growth, expansion, and positivity in all aspects of life, carrying a message of encouragement and support from your angelic realm. When you encounter this number, you're being guided to shape your life and make better decisions that lead to spiritual growth and expansion. And sometimes it's like, hey, you kind of get refined and tested so you can make better decisions, so you can get shaped into the high quality, the high caliber, top of the charts person that you're meant to be. If you're a song, I said top of the charts, so maybe we have somebody listening who's a musician and you're putting out your work and nobody's listening. And so maybe the issue is, I don't know, maybe you're being asked to explore different types, genres of music. Maybe the genre you think you're supposed to be in is not nowhere near the genre that you are supposed to be in. Allowing yourself to try this and try that. Does this even make sense? What did I just read? I would also say if you want to allow the expansion, which means not holding on so tight to what you think you want, and trusting that God's plan is to prosper you and prosper you beyond what you think. Because your brain can only imagine what it's seen. And it's like, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard. There is so much more still worth fighting for. I'll have to go to that song in a second. But I'm glad the song came through, because I am talking about musicians. And maybe you're being asked to maybe go into, how do I write my lyrics? Do I open up a dictionary? Do I need to work on do I need to read more books so I have a bigger vocabulary so I can write better songs? Like, you have no idea, like, why you're being asked to do certain things or why certain things are failing, but it opens up to like this whole other lane and avenue that you get more knowledge on, so that you can now, okay, you didn't know that this genre of music existed, or this pattern of this rhyming pattern was a thing. You didn't know the difference between a sonnet and a ballad. You didn't know. Now you know. Oh snap, I like this lane. Oh snap, I read this book and I got this whole nother genre or this theme of music to talk about and to sing about. And Oh my gosh, vocal lessons. What? You know what I mean? It's just so many things that you have no idea what you're prepping and planning for. But God and the universe knows, and your higher self knows. You just don't know the extent. You just don't know the capacity. You don't know how much expansion. And I don't even think there's a ceiling. Anyway, let me keep going, because the next part of this reading was creative expression and self-identity. So I feel like it's going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. In addition to indicating spiritual growth, the angel number 3333 may also be a message to embrace your creativity and use it as a tool for self-expression and personal development. Love it. Creativity as self-expression and personal development. It encourages you to explore your artistic side and find joy in creative pursuits, as they have the potential to bring you fulfillment and happiness. That's a good point. Sometimes your highest, we may think, is making a certain amount of money, having a certain status, but a lot of the times it's like you won't be happy in that role. You're working towards something that's actually the worst thing for you. And I want you to be not only abundant, but I want you to be happy, and I want you to be fulfilled. And sometimes that's linked to your personal creative pursuits. So some of you are being asked to maybe be a little bit more creative in whatever it is that you're doing. And maybe you're doing something in a very mundane way, and God would never want you to live a life where you get yourself stuck into a boring, unhappy, unfulfilled situation. And so maybe you're being asked to infuse some more creativity, love, and passion into whatever you're doing, just because, like, maybe you're not doing anything wrong, but maybe you're going about it the wrong way. Maybe you're not doing it to the most funnest excitement that your soul would just love to do every day for free. If you're not doing that, then God might be like, well, I don't want to prosper you in this, because you're going to be miserable. Think about that. Are you doing it exactly how you want to do it? Are you having the most fun with it? I know this is something for me, because I personally like speaking kind of like this more podcast style with these channel messages. Like, I hate being woken up in the middle of the night, but I think this is more fun. Fun is not the word, but it's more authentic to me to speak this way without the cards, without, any of those blockers. I can just close my eyes and really, really just yap about it and let source talk through me and stuff like that. So, hey, that's a thing for you. So for your expansion, are you allowing that creativity to be infused within the mix? So encountering this angel number could be the angel's way of telling you to focus on your unique abilities and talents, like those strengths, right? It's a call to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new opportunities, right? Like, oh, I discovered a new type of thing. Let me go explore what this is about. Let me gain some knowledge over here. Oh, I have an opportunity for you. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to just dismiss it? Because, it feels like such a little opportunity, but what you do with little was what you're going to do with a lot. What are you waiting on? Take the little one. It might lead to the big one. Embrace new opportunities and experiences that allow you to express your true self. And I think the last thing I'm going to read is this last paragraph. Through the powerful energy of the angel number 3333, the angels encourage you to be confident and creative and embrace your individuality. Ooh. This potent message from the angelic realms urges you to believe in your abilities, believe in yourself, and move forward with optimism and excitement. Believe in your abilities, believe in yourself. That's for me. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up right here. The plan has always been to prosper you. So let me go back to my notes so I can just make sure I maybe do one more revamp. Okay. The plan has always been to prosper you. You've been prepped for the highest leadership position at the appointed time. It is already mapped out. You've been building your case. Don't worry about these outcomes. Think about your heart posture, your character. Are you being impatient? Are you doing what you love to do? Are you doing it the way you love to do it? Are you being creative? Are you being open to new opportunities and new experiences? How you handle a little is how you handle a lot. How open are you to allow yourself to, be flexible? Just because you don't have what you want right now doesn't mean you can't showcase your character right now. You should be. You should speak to the 100,000 that you want. So, hey, all 100,000 of y'all. I'm so glad that you're here and I'm excited. I never thought this day would come, but I'm so ready and I'm so happy that I have this community and this collective who resonate with my, well, listen to me, and I changed it up. Let me go ahead and speak this into the atmosphere real quick. So if you're still listening, thank you. But if you're not, it don't really matter, because I do this for me. I do this because I love it, and I do this because it's what I'm here to do. And I'm stepping into my full power now before I even see it, because that's the confidence I'm being asked to take on, the boldness and the authenticity and the unhingedness I've been asked to do right now is what I'm working on, my weakness, right? But anyway, I'm going ahead and speaking into the atmosphere. Thank you so much for being a part of this community and this collective. There's so many blessings on the way to you, because if you're in my tribe, oh baby, we're up. And right now, this is 2025. Like I said earlier, my 100,000 is coming by December 1st of this year, which means I got 10 days. I got 10 days. Woo-wee. Okay, well, only God can do it, because, hey, I'm doing what I'm being called to do. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully I know this resonated with you, especially if you're still listening at 45 minutes. I am so thankful that I'm able to do this full time, that I'm able to be prosperous, that I'm able to serve, that I'm able to share my voice, that I'm able to be a leader and a guide for those who need it, to resonate with you, so you can feel like you're heard, that you can feel like you're seen, that you can feel like you have somebody who understands you. That is my role. That is my position I've been given. I'm fully stepping into it, and I'm super, super thankful to be here. And I'm thankful for the process, for the journey, for this inner journey, and everything I've been through, everything I've been prepped with from my childhood, even the people I've dealt with, even from my parents, and the experiences where I had to be the listening ear, where I had to be the counselor, where I didn't feel heard. And all that has prepped me. And all the times where I felt like I was scared to use my voice and to share. And all the times where I went back and forth on how I want to make sure I resonate with the people, and make sure I'm palatable, and make sure I'm not being too harsh or being too cold or being too emotional or being too anything. Thank you for allowing me to be me. And thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Universe, for prepping me, for showing me my strengths, for showing me my weaknesses, for guiding me, loving me, prepping me, and preparing me for my prosperous and abundant future, for giving me the confidence to speak without any other tools, for letting myself be a vessel, for letting me be a messenger, for letting me confidently know that I'm on God's roster, and that the 100,000 I'm claiming is already mine, and I just have to step into it confidently, and be consistent, and be myself, and have fun, and just love what I do. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're listening. Leave a comment if you're still rocking with me. If you're a new subscriber, if you're watching this a year later and it's just now hitting your ears, thank you for listening. You're right on time. I'll see y'all in the next video.